class is going to be about Facebook ads, specifically in Command, and specifically for listings. So as we have more listings hopefully popping up in the spring market, it's good to be prepared and have some of these things set up almost templated ahead of time. So when you do have a listing, you can just duplicate what you've created and then keep running those ads. So we're going to go through the preparation, so some things you can do ahead of time to make sure when you do start generating leads that they're all organized, you're not scrambling to figure out where they are and how to contact them. I'll also show you how to put an automatic follow-up in place and a little bit about smart plans, touch on that very briefly. And then we'll run an ad and I'll show you how it all ties together. Okay, I'm just going to share my screen here. Does anyone have any specific questions about Facebook ads or anything like that before I start that I can make a point to tackle?
I have a quick one. Can you use your personal Facebook or do you have to create a brand new one?
You cannot use your personal Facebook. You have to use a Facebook business page. And we'll go over that, which you do create in your personal account. So you don't have to make a whole new Facebook account. You're just creating a page for your business, and that's where the ads are going to run from.
Perfect.
Okay.
So I do have one relating to smart plans and setting up a smart plan connected to your leads. I actually, you're going to be proud, Jess. I actually created smart plans and attach them to my leads, and I create landing page for all this to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping to kind of marry them up a little bit better, because I had some weird one pop up from a listing I'd had a while ago, and I'm like, why is this showing as a lead right now? But I think my leads all kind of got jumbled together.
Okay.
I need a way to separate them. Okay.
Yeah, we'll go over that as well.
Awesome. Thanks.
There's something in the chat here. Perfect. All right. So first, I'm going to go over some prerequisites for a Facebook ad. And actually, I can stop sharing right now because I'm not not doing anything. Like Angela asked, you do have to have a Facebook business page. That is very important. You cannot run ads from a personal Facebook account. And like I said, you do create it within your Facebook account, so you don't have to create a whole new one. You'll see a pages section, and then you'll have the option to create a new page. Okay, so at the end, I'm going to show you, I have a document that has everything I'm going to go through today with links, with guides of how to do those things. So if you don't have a Facebook business page, I have all of those resources for you. You also have to make sure that your page is connected in Command, which I'll show you how to do, that your marketing profile in Command is complete, and that you've added your credit card as a payment method in Command. So we're going to go through those things. And those are the main prerequisites. There's a few things in reference to your Facebook page you'll need to double check, like making sure you have two-factor authentication, which is a security feature. I have an article that goes through all the different steps that you'll want to do just to make sure that when you do start running ads, you don't get any errors, because a lot of those errors that you'll see popping up if you're in any Facebook groups about Command, a lot of them are solved just with a simple setting change. So we'll go over what some of those things are. You also need a listing to advertise. Of course, that's the focus of this class, and a web page that displays your listing details. There's a few different ways you can do that. If you have an agent site created through Command, you can search for your listing on that agent site. You can create a landing page in Command, which we'll talk about. If you don't have your own website, or you have a custom website outside of Command, you can link to that as well. Or our office website, we do have our KW Nova Scotia, or if you're in PEI, it's KWSelectPEI.com, that we have all of the MLS listings. So if you don't have your own website, you can leverage that. And the leads will still go to you if they do submit a contact form on that website. So those are the main pieces. You want to make sure that you have somewhere to send the leads to view the listing, and that you have a listing to advertise. Those are the two big ones. So I will share my screen now just to start the preparation. All right. So the first thing I talked about was your Facebook page being connected in your settings. So here, when you click on your name at the very top right of Command, you're going to click on Settings. Well, it seems to think that Command's in Dutch, but it is not. Just going to move these controls here. All right. So you'll see here on this applications page, that's the first page it's going to bring you when you get into your settings. And you're going to see Facebook in two different places. We have Facebook for post scheduling, and then we have Facebook for ads manager. So there's two things you can do with campaigns in Command. You can schedule just your standard posts. They don't cost anything. It's your normal post you would normally put on Facebook. You can pre-schedule them from Command. So in order to do that, you do need to connect your Facebook account under post scheduling. If you're only doing Facebook ads, you really only need to connect this one, which is Facebook Ads Manager. So you just click, this would say connect. If you don't have yours connected, it will pop up. You'll log into your Facebook account, and then you just select the page that you are an admin for and that you're going to be running the ads from. Okay, so that's an important step. You won't be able to even start the process of creating an ad, I don't believe, unless you have your page connected. I don't think it will even let you save it. Okay. The other piece of that is your marketing profile, and that's located here under Connect Settings and then Marketing Profile. So I have a video and a guide that goes through the marketing profile and how to fill all of that out. But it's essentially just a form that you fill out that is going to put all this information in multiple different places in Command where you're doing marketing. So if you do have your own agent site, if you're doing any designs, Facebook ads, things like that, it is going to pull some of the information from here. So it is important that you have this filled out. So like I said, I do have a guide that will help you through that. Angela?
I just wanted to raise my hand. No, are you going to send us out those guides?
I am, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
I'll show you it at the end and then I'll email it to all of you.
Thanks.
Okay. So that's mostly it for settings, just making sure you have your Facebook account connected and that your profile is complete. Then into the prep for actually running your campaign and getting things set up. I always recommend your first step, if you're ready to run the ad, create a custom tag for any leads that you get. So if you've been to any of my database classes, I've talked about using tags to separate groups of contacts and segment your database. And you can create your own custom tags that we can then assign to all of the leads. So under command settings here, you'll go to contacts, and then you have contact tags. So this is where you'll see all of the custom tags that you've ever created if you are doing that directly in your contacts. But you can create your own tags here, and I do recommend doing that for the listing that you're going to run the ad for. So I'm going to create a tag, and the one I'm doing is 29 Alvin. Simple as that. I'm putting the address and saying Facebook lead. Okay, you can choose a color, make it stand out, and then create it. So that's already done. So that's something you can do ahead of time. You'll see why that's important when we actually go and set up the ad. But having that tag, like Sherry asked, that's going to allow you to separate the leads from this particular campaign from any other ones that you're running. So if every time you have a listing, you just make a tag like this, tag it to those contacts or those leads that you get, and then that helps you filter and separate that way. So I'll show you how that works to integrate everything together. Okay. Any questions on the settings or creating a tag? Oh, Sherry, you're muted.
When kind of filling out your marketplace, if you accidentally step into something, can you just like step out of the screen and go back in? If they won't let you get rid of it?
In the marketing profile, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, if you don't click save at the bottom, it won't save anything you put in. So you can just back out and go back in.
Excellent. Because I just stepped in something and didn't want to. So
Oh, no worries.
I'm trying to follow along while as you do this.
Perfect. All right, so all good on creating a tag. Perfect.
Yes.
All right, the next step seems kind of backwards, but we're going to set up the follow-up. So we haven't made the ad yet, but we're going to get the follow-up plan in place before we run the ad, and you'll see why in a little bit. So with Command, if you're not familiar, we have something called Smart Plans, which are automatic texts, emails, tasks that you can create in sort of a succession to follow up with people for all the different purposes. And Facebook ads are a really, really, really good reason to be creating a smart plan. So I'm going to go to the Smart Plans icon here on the left. And I always mention it, but here at the top, if you click KW, this opens the menu. So we'll go to Smart Plans. So the follow-up is really, really important with Facebook leads. If you've taken any classes on Facebook ads or follow-up or anything like that before, you'll always hear the fortune is in the follow-up. The reason is Facebook leads are really, really difficult to convert into clients, because how often are you just scrolling through Facebook and just clicking on things? You're probably not interested. You're just curious to see what that house is listed for, or you get an ad for some random product that somehow Facebook knows is perfect for you. You're clicking on those things and you're probably not going to buy it the first time that you click on it, or you're just not interested in general. And that's a lot of people who are scrolling through Facebook. So you might run an ad and get 20 leads, but are those 20 people actually interested in transacting in real estate? You don't know yet. So it would take you so much time to reach out to each of those 20 people to find out what their intentions are. Did they accidentally click your ad? Were they just nosy to see the price? What's the circumstance there? You don't want to be spending hours and hours every single day following up with these people who aren't interested in working with you. So the really nice thing with a Smart Plan is it can get that process started and kind of weed those people out before you even make the effort to go and reach out to them one-on-one. Okay. The other thing with Facebook leads is they, again, being difficult to convert, they take a long time to convert. Someone who clicks on your Facebook ad right now, they might just be starting to think that maybe I want to buy a house. They might still be 6 months to a year out. And so while you'll see everyone talk about Facebook ads as being sort of the easy button, get a lot of leads really quickly for a low cost, it is. But unless you're following up with those people and nurturing them and sort of weeding out the ones who aren't going to transact, it's not going to be that easy button that you're looking for. So having the follow-up plan in place is really, really important. It's also important to adjust the expectations around that if you get 20 leads, that doesn't mean you're going to have 20 deals. You might only get one. You might not even get any at the right when you get it, or right when you get the leads, sorry. It might take 6 or 12 months. So it's not going to be filling your pipeline for this month or next month, but you're working to build out your database, put more people in there to hopefully fill up your pipeline in the future. So I just want to mention some expectations there. I don't want anyone to think that you're going to go in, run an ad and get 20 deals straight away. It's going to take some time and it's going to take some work of following up with those people. Okay. Another part of that is you'll see a lot of talk with the Smart Plans of having these follow-up plans spread out over 6 to 12 months, again, because they take so long to convert. You want to be touching on these people for a long period of time if they haven't gotten back to you. That is great if you have a plan or you find a plan that works for you that does spread out over that amount of time. But I don't want that to discourage you or stop you from doing it altogether. The most important part is that you're getting back to them at least once. Okay. You don't want to be waiting 2 or 3 days to get back to someone who clicked on your ad, because that may be the difference. They may go find another realtor in that 3 days if they were looking to transact. So speed to lead, you'll hear us say a lot as well. It's just making sure that you're getting back to them as quickly as possible without, you having to take a bunch of time to do that. So what I'm going to show you today is just a really, really simple Smart Plan that you can create to follow up with any leads that you get without having to build out one of those 6 or 12-month plans. That's a whole different course. So in the library, you will find some really, really good Smart Plans. If you click on library here, you can search Facebook lead follow-up, and you're going to get a ton of options. And again, it's going to be very overwhelming. There's 100 of them. So you're going to have to fish through and find one that works for you. And you may take bits and pieces from one Smart Plan, a few from another, and build your own. That's totally up to you. So whether you use one from the library, you can click View Steps to see what all of the emails or tasks or any of those things that are going to be created for you. And then you can click Add Smart Plan to actually add it and start using it. Okay. For this purpose, I'm just going to create one from scratch just to show you how quick and easy that can be. So I'm going to click Create here at the top, and I'm going to call it My goal with this is to make smart plans a little less overwhelming, because I know there's a lot in there that you can do. So created one called 29 Alvin. That's the listing I'm advertising. And I simply just want an email to send to any leads that I get. Okay, so I'm going to click send email right here to add this step. And then I can just type an email that I want to go out to anyone who clicks on my ad. So the library is great to find that initial email. You will find some really, really good examples. It could be something as, hey, and you will see me use these as well, these merge fields, we call them. So I'm going to click contact first name in that list, which is going to populate the lead's name when they click on the ad. Okay. Something as simple as I saw, you click Facebook. To buy, or just browsing. Could even say for that listing too. Okay. Can be as simple as that. Someone reached out about your listing, what would you normally go and reply from your email? Take that, make it a template. Okay, just put it in here as this email. We'll put a subject. Yep. You may want to get creative with your subjects to grab their attention, but this is literally all you would need to do. Okay. I do also recommend also creating yourself a task. So we can click create task here. Actually, I'm going to do not that one. I'm going to click make a call here instead of create a task. That is then going to remind you to call them. Okay. So this is kind of an alternative of those long drawn out smart plans. If you're just looking to create something simple to follow up with your leads, have it send them an email, and then it will tell you to call them. Okay, so that's going to show up in your command as a task. Will show up in your command app as a task as well. So that's just a reminder for you to get in touch with them. So command has done the work to send that initial email, and then you can go and call them to follow up one-on-one. Okay. Does that make sense?
It does, actually. It's really good. If we're using one that's already in the library and we're changing it, the only way I've seen to change it from a task to text somebody is, for example, a task to text somebody. If you wanted to change that to just automatically text because you're using Twilio or whatever, that when it comes in, it kind of goes to the bottom of the smart plan, and then you gotta
use the arrows to move it up.
Yeah. So I don't know about everybody else, but my little brain gets confused about where I am in that, this thing up, and I find myself, I spend a lot of time doing that. Is there a shorter way, or is that just the way?
That's just the way. What I was going to say is in your browser, you can zoom out and it will make it smaller. So if you can read that and you know which one it is, it makes it a little bit easier. You're not just seeing one step at a time to get it to move up. That's the best advice I can give. I know they are making improvements to smart plans with some changes coming up around family reunion. So hopefully that they'll make it a little bit more user-friendly to move the steps around. I'm not sure on that, but I'm hoping that that's in the road.
Yeah, I can't be the only one struggling with that. I'm
Yeah.
sure. Okay, thank you.
When people click on an ad on Facebook and this triggers an email to them, where are you getting the phone number from? If
You'll see that when we get through to creating the ad.
So Facebook will send out a phone number?
So when we get into the ad, we'll go over the lead generation form essentially. So there's a way to set up your ad that when they click on it, it pops up a form that they have to fill out in order to continue. So it forces them to put in phone number, email, and name in order to see whatever they've clicked on.
Gotcha.
Then that sends it through to command. So you'll see how that workflow works.
Gotcha. Because I was thinking there's no way Facebook just sends out phone numbers.
No, the person has to put it in and consent to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say yes and no to that, because if somebody's already been on Facebook and had pre-filled as part of their profile, their phone number and email and all that stuff, the lead form will auto-populate.
It does, yes.
So
But at the bottom,
not-
it does say like you're consenting to
Correct.
contact when they click submit. So in terms of the do not call and all of that stuff, it is compliant to text them because they've implicitly given you permission to contact them. Okay. All right. So I've created my simple little smart plan that is going to go out to my leads, and I'm just going to click on save here at the top. I did not complete. Oh, okay. We're going to fill this in. So call, contact first name, contact last name, 29 Alvin. So that's the one I'm doing. Okay. So that's what the task is going to come through as. You have to fill in a description. You don't have to fill in a description, but it is good to fill one in. If you are ever doing multiple smart plans at a time, if it just says to call this person, you're probably going to want to know why. I did put it in the task here, so that's fine. But sometimes you may want to remind yourself if this task is going to appear, I don't know, 3 months or 6 months from now, you might want to remind yourself why it's appearing and why you're calling them. Okay, so that's what this field is for here. So I'm going to click save. And we're done with that. And I'm going to then move into our campaign section. Okay. So that is this little megaphone. And with the smart plans, again, we've done a lot of training. I have some other training coming up on that that I will be putting in the calendar. So that goes through smart plans a whole lot more in depth. I just wanted to show you a quick and easy one you can add in. So we're in campaigns now, and we're going to click on create campaign here at the top right. When this pops up, you're going to see a few different options. For the purpose of this class, we're doing a paid social ad. So you're going to click social ad. Then you have to give it a name. So I'm going to put the listing address here. Then you have to choose your goal. So what's your goal of this ad? Most likely you're thinking it's going to be to advertise this listing. However, you're also trying to attract buyers. You're looking for a buyer for this listing. And the main reason why the big benefit of running an ad for your listing is all of the all the leads you get are likely going to be, if they are interested in real estate, buyers. So you're looking for buyers who want to purchase a home. They may not want to purchase 29 Alvin, and that's fine. They may want to purchase a different home. So I'm going to choose attract buyers because just in terms of the targeting, it does seem to perform a lot better than advertising the listing specifically. So just put that you're looking to attract buyers. Okay. Then you choose where your campaign is going to run. So you can do Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Again, Instagram has to be a business profile. Twitter, same thing. So we're just going to do Facebook for the simplicity of it. And click create campaign. Load. So our name and goal is already in here. The first section is, after that, is listing. So the really nice thing about Command, running ads through Command, is it's actually connected to our MLS system. So if your listing is active on the MLS, you can click add listing. Very important, you have to change this to show all listings, not only my listings. And then you're going to search for the address of your listing. You can also search by MLS number if you're having trouble finding it. I'm going to search for that. And it's right here, the very first one. Okay. So once you find your listing, you're going to click select. And our ad is now being built. It has pulled the description from MLS to be the copy of the ad. And it's also pulled the first photo from MLS to be the main photo on that ad as well. This is great. There's very little you actually have to change here. But there are a few things that you'll want to customize with this. I'll take that out. A few things you probably don't want to include in this main copy are things that are going to exclude someone from wanting to click on your ad. Things like number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, the price, things that are going to be non-negotiable for people that that's, hard stop. I need a 4-bedroom house, or it needs to be under this budget. If this house is listed for, I think it's 1.3, and my budget is 1 million, and it says right here at the top that it's listed for 1.3, I'm not going to click on that. I know it's not going to meet my needs. So I'm going to keep scrolling. But looking at this house, you don't know what the price is by looking at it. So I'm much more likely to click on that to see if it works for me. In order to see that, you'll see later on, they have to put in their info. You get their info as a lead, and then they find out that it doesn't work for them. But now you have their information, you can reach out to them and hopefully help them find a house that does meet their needs. Okay, so you don't want to put anything in here that's going to prevent someone from clicking on it. Some other things you may want to include are emojis. They tend to do really, really well. You do have this little smiley face here that is linked to all of the emojis. They just grab people's attention a little more, add some color and some pop to it. And actually, I saw a post a little while ago that a lot of people find an emoji checklist tends to work best. So have emojis in a line. Does anyone know what I mean by that? No? So let's say you have 5 features that you want to highlight about this house. To put the house emoji. Yes, actually. That. Close to amenity. Oh, it's not letting me type. Sorry, I'm frozen here. There we go. Close to amenities. Do the same thing. In-ground pool, something like that. So you can make a sort of bullet point list and use the emojis as your bullets, essentially. People have found that grabs people's attention a lot more. Instead of having one long paragraph, break the main details down into bullet points and use the emojis as your bullet points. Seems kind of silly, but it does work. Okay, now I've deleted my description, so I don't have that anymore. So I'll just put there. Okay. You also have a headline and a description. So this is text that's going to appear down here. This is a good spot for any other details you want to include because you do only have 250 characters for the caption. So some people will put some additional features down here in the description. You may want to put the MLS number down here just for compliance. So it's on the ad and any other compliance things that you need to include. With the headline, it is limited. You can only put 25 characters. So I always say, put something that highlights something about that property that you can fit into a small amount of text. Close to amenities, waterfront property. You could even put the MLS number there. So you're just filling out these details just to add some additional information to that ad. Okay. Once you've filled that out, you click on Save here to save your text. Next is your media. So we have a check mark because it already added the photo, but you can change the photo or add additional photos. So if you click on Add More right here, it's going to pull all the rest of the photos from the MLS. So I always say between 1 and 3, you don't want to go too many photos because again, you don't want to give too much away about the property. You want them to click on the ad. So while you also don't want to exclude anyone, you want to entice people to click on it as well. So probably something like this nice waterfront or a nice kitchen, something that's going to grab their attention. You'll put that as an additional photo. So I just click this to select it. I'm going to click preview and crop. It does make you crop it into a square here. And then we'll click save. Okay. So now it's created a carousel. It's going to take a second for that to load with those photos that people can scroll through. Okay. We'll save that here. And then next is your Facebook settings. Go back to that. So this is where it's important that your Facebook account's connected. Again, it's not going to let me save this until I have connected my Facebook account. So it's showing mine here. And I just need to select which page I'm running this ad from. So if you are someone who has multiple business pages, you'll need to select it like I do. If you only have the one, it should show up right here. So I would choose my business page that the ad is going to run from. And now you can see in the preview, it's changed what's running that ad. Okay. Any questions so far on the text media attaching the Facebook account?
Is it better to do like your personal website or to do a landing page?
For the destination?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the next part. The destination. So you're creating this ad, someone's going to click on it. You have to choose whether you're going to use the Facebook lead generation form first. So you can either have them click on the ad, it pops up, asks for their name, email, and phone number, and then it will direct them to the website that you're putting in here, and we'll talk about that in a second. Or you can set it so they click on the ad and they go directly to the website. The main difference is if you want to generate leads, you have to use the lead generation form. Otherwise, you're not going to get their information.
Mhm.
That's really the main difference. There are some, I guess, performance things to consider with that as well. If you're just doing an ad and for a listing, you're definitely going to want to use lead generation. But if you're doing any other type of ad like brand awareness, you're just trying to get your name out there, you're not necessarily looking to generate leads, site or landing page is a great option because it's actually going to get a lot more views and show up to a lot more people because Facebook just knows people who aren't likely to fill out that form. The algorithm's pretty smart. And so it knows that that person clicks on these and they don't fill out the form, they cancel it. So they're much less likely to show the ad to that person because they're probably not going to fill out the form. So you will notice if you ever run two ads that are the same ad, one with the lead generation form, one without, the one without the form is going to perform better, but you're not going to generate leads. So you kind of have to figure out what your goal is with that ad when you're making this decision. But for a listing, I do recommend the lead generation form. The button label is learn more. You can change that, but nothing else really applies. And then your website URL. So Sherry asked if it's better to direct it to your website or a landing page. For this, where you're looking to find buyers for anything, I would recommend your website. Okay. Does everyone know the difference between a website and a landing page? Your website is your website. There's a lot of different pages. They can look for multiple listings. You can add content to it. There's multiple spots where someone can go to find things in that website. A landing page is a one-page site. It does not direct anywhere else. It features the information that you're advertising and probably a contact form. They can't go and look at other listings. They can't view any information about you. They're just getting that listing. So there's definite benefits to creating a landing page. I do recommend doing it. But for your Facebook ad, I would more recommend directing them to your website so they have the ability to look at other properties. Because like I said, a lot of times someone's going to click on this and they're not actually interested in buying that house, but they may be interested in purchasing a house. So if it's linked to your website, they have the ability to go and look for those other houses. And again, you still have their information and they have the ability to sign up on your website and you can see what they're doing as well. So highly recommend if you do have an agent site through Command to link it to that instead of doing a landing page. Does that make sense, Sherry? So now we have to decide where we're going to send them. So what I'm actually going to do is open up my agent website. Travis, I see your direct question there. Yes, it is recorded. And I will send it out. So I'm on my agent website. And this will work even if you have another website, if you built your own custom site or have one elsewhere, or you don't have a site and you're just going to use KW Nova Scotia, you can just go to that site and you're going to search for the listing. So search for my listing. Here it is here. I'm going to click it to open that page, which features all of the details about that listing. See here, we have all of the photos. There is a virtual tour as well, which is linked here. We have all of the description details, as well as a button over here to request a tour or ask your agent a question. So what's really nice is these are going to go to you, of course, if they click any of those buttons, but you already have their info. But also if they come up here and say, okay, I'm not interested in this house, I'm going to come and search in Halifax, for example. Any other properties that they look at, if they click ask your agent or request a tour, that's going to you. So you're going to get that message in command. So that's a big benefit of linking to your own site versus somewhere like Realtor.ca or Viewpoint. Those platforms are going to direct Viewpoint will direct it to Viewpoint agents, but Realtor.ca will direct leads to the listing agent. So if someone ends up on a different property that they're interested in, you're not going to get that lead. Okay, so that's why I always recommend using your own website to advertise your listings. So I'm just going to take the link of this website and copy it. And when I go back to my campaign, I am going to paste that as my website URL. Okay. I can show you the difference with a landing page very, very quickly of what that would look like. Just so you can see the difference. So this is what a landing page would look like compared to your website. So you can see it has all the details about that listing. All of it's here, the photos, everything. It's laid out really, really nicely. And then just has a contact form at the bottom. So if someone got to this page and said, that doesn't really work for me, they have no way to get anywhere else to look for properties that's linked to you anyways. They're probably just going to go search for Viewpoint or Realtor. Now that you've piqued their interest of houses, they're going to go look somewhere else. Okay, so this is great for, I do recommend setting one of these up. It's great for if you're just posting on Facebook. It's great to send to your sellers so they can share it with people, to just send the details about their home. And it makes them feel really nice because you've spent the time to create a dedicated web page for their listing. So I think it's really important to incorporate this into your marketing strategy with a listing. But in terms of the Facebook ad, it's not quite the right place to link into. So I do have a video on how to create landing pages if anyone's interested that I can send you. But that I just wanted to explain what the difference was and why you would use your site over the landing page. Okay. All right. Any questions about the site or landing page? No.
No, I appreciate that though. And I totally forgot about going right to the listing and opening that up. So thank you so much for that. Because I think I've been guiding people just to my website. And that could have been irritating some people.
No worries. Yeah, so you can direct it right to that listing. And then again, if they look at anything else, you'll also still have that lead to follow up with them. Okay, so next is your audience. So the really nice thing about using Command and Facebook for your ad is they have worked together to build this section of Command, and they have done all the targeting for you in the background. If anyone's ever run an ad on Facebook, directly on Facebook, you have to choose everything about the people that you want to target. And they make you get really specific. With real estate, doesn't matter what someone's interested in, they probably want to live somewhere. So you don't necessarily want to target people too specifically because anyone could want to buy or sell a property. All you have to do is choose the geographical location that you want the ad to run. So normally with a listing, it will populate with the area that the listing is located. However, if it does not recognize the town, I do not recognize Wellington, it will default to Austin, Texas. Just keep an eye on that. You'll want to make sure you change the location. So I'm just going to click the drop down here and go down to Canada. And again, you can run ads in any country, any city. anywhere that you would like. And I'm just going to, if I spell it right, run this in Halifax. You could run it in Toronto if you're looking for out of province buyers, wherever you want to run it. Then you choose the radius. So how far away from this location, circle radius, do you want the ad to run? So is it within 50 kilometers of Halifax? 80 is your max. So if you're trying to cover the whole province, you may have to run a couple of different ads with different locations. But 80 kilometers is your max targeting radius here. You do also have the ability to add the detailed targeting that I said I did not recommend. And the only time that it is recommended is if the property you're advertising would only appeal to a specific type of buyer. So are you listing a motel or a multi-unit, something that it's probably going to be investors or people who are interested in flipping homes or something like that, that are going to be interested in purchasing something like that type of property. If it's a horse ranch, you might want to target people who like horses. So there's reasons why you would use targeting, but if it's just your standard house, you don't want to get too specific with it. I'm going to click save here to save my targeting.
Jess, does it get, like, does it deal with income as well?
So it has like a pre-populated list of interests that people have in Facebook. So you can put your own interests in. It'll also pull from like the pages that they like and the things that they're searching. But it's really just, here I can go into detailed targeting. So add interests. Very slow today. It's like a pre-populated list. It does tell you the audience for each of those things. So you might search investment properties, and there'll be, oh, that's not one. Search investment, property investment. So you can't like create your own interests. You have to pull from the ones that Facebook has created. So,
All right, play with it.
Yeah.
See what it gives you.
And as you do that targeting, you'll notice here the audience definition is showing. And so you want to just keep it in the green. If you're in this green bar, then you're good. If it gets into the yellow, you're too broad. You're not targeting specifically enough. And if you're in the red, you're too specific. So as long as your little line here is in the green, then you know you're reaching a good amount of people. Okay. Next is the lead settings. This is where the prep work comes in. So when I configure my lead settings, there's two options. First, auto tag. So I can set this that every person who clicks on my ad, fills out their info and submits it, they are going to be added to your database. So they'll show up in your contacts. You're going to get a notification that you have a new lead, but you can also go a step further and auto tag it with that tag you created. So every lead that comes in will always automatically have this tag added to it. So then when you go into your database and you're looking at your leads, however many you have, you see right away that that lead is from 29 Alvin. That's what they clicked on. This is also really, really helpful if you do a lot of listing business. Maybe 6 months from now, you get a listing on the same street. Maybe you want to send it to everyone who was interested in the first ad. If they're tagged, it's very, very easy to do that.
Oh, damn, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, my brain just blew up, so. Okay, yeah, all right.
So that's why I say the prep is very important, because it's going to save you a lot of time and make your life a lot easier down the road. So now you can always see which leads came from this ad. And then you can take it a step further and say, okay, once they click on my ad, I want them on my Facebook lead follow-up smart plan. Actually, that's not even the right one. I made one specifically for 29 Alvin. There we go. Okay. So they click on my ad, they submit their info. They're added as a lead. It's 3 a.m. I'm sleeping. They get the email. I didn't have to email them. They got an email saying, hey, just checking in. I saw you clicked on my ad. Do you want more details, or are you looking to buy something else? Whatever you've written there. No matter what you're doing, they're going to get that email or a text, or however you've set that up, within minutes. The text will go out the next business day if it's the middle of the night, but the email will go out right away.
And just to follow that train of thought, because I finally am into smart plans.
Yeah.
Say for example, 20 Albion's amazing, it's wonderful, the whole thing happens, it sells, and then down the road 35 Albion goes on and I want to do a smart plan. I can just go into the 29 Albion smart plan, change the title, save it as the new one,
Exactly.
and I don't have to do all the other work again.
Yeah.
Except I have to double check my text to make sure it matches, but that's it.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
And you can duplicate them as well. So even if you didn't want to get rid of that old one, you could duplicate it and edit it. You could also make a template one, a master version that has no address filled in. That reduces the risk of it saying the wrong address in it if you forget to change it. And then you just duplicate that master one every time. So there's strategies there to streamline that process. But yes, you can edit it each time.
Nice. Awesome. Thank you.
So does that workflow make sense to everyone, how the smart plan connects with the leads? Yeah. Okay. Lastly is duration and budget. So you're just choosing how long you want the ad to run and how much you want to spend. Okay, the minimum is $1 per day and the minimum time is 1 day. So just keep that in mind. You also have to keep in mind that this is American dollars. So 30 American dollars is what will be charged to you if you leave this as is. So adjust that when you're changing your budget. It is going to be American. Okay. As you adjust the duration, the daily per channel budget will change. So just play around with that until you're happy with what you're spending. And you don't have to spend a whole lot. You'll see a lot of people will spend like $500 on a Facebook ad. And it's all about the quality of the ad. It's not going to make a difference if you spend $30 or $100. You might reach more people. But if your ad isn't enticing for them to click on and they're not interested in the content, whether 100 people see it or 30 people see it and no one clicks it, it doesn't make a difference, right? So focus on making your ad not flashy, but it's going to catch their attention. It's providing value. You're giving the details about the listing, and that's what's going to get you the clicks. So you can start with a low budget until you learn more about ads, figure out what's working and what's not. And then once you figure out what's working, then start sinking a little bit more money into it. But even like a $10 ad to start, I've seen people do a $10 ad and get 20 leads. Like, it's insane the amount of leads you can get. So start small and then build from there once you figure out what you like doing and what's actually working for your business. Okay. Once this is all filled out, you can see here I have my preview. I can see what that looks like. I can choose to publish it or I can save it as a draft. So the nice thing with this is, let's say I didn't want to run the ad until next week. I can save it as a draft and it's ready to go. Or I can publish it right away. Whatever you want to do. I'm going to save this because I'm not going to actually run this ad. I'm going to switch over here for a second. Once you actually run an ad, you're going to have some different details that show up. So some things you'll see, you'll have your duration will show up next to that ad. Your cost per impression. So impressions are how many people saw it in their newsfeed. How many people scrolled through Facebook and it showed up for them. They didn't click it, they didn't interact with it, but it showed up for them. Clicks, so how many people clicked on it and what the cost per click was. And then how many leads you've gotten and what the cost per lead was. So if I scroll down here to, we'll use this one, for example, I ran this ad for 3 days. I had a cost per impression of $11.93. That doesn't really make sense. 29 cents per click. I had 34 clicks and I got 5 leads. So that was $2 per lead. Okay. If I scroll over here. Oh, let me scroll. I think I'm zoomed in too much. There we go. The last total will show you how much you spent. So I spent $10 on this one and got 6 leads. Even that's great results. If you get 6 leads and 1 converts and you spent $10, you're probably gonna make more than $10. A lot more than $10. Okay. So this is just some information to show you how well the ad is working. Number of impressions is just showing you, again, how many people's news feeds it's actually reaching. So it's a good indicator of how well it's performing. And then you can look at how many leads you got as well. And you can click this to see a list of those leads. Okay. One thing I didn't mention was adding your payments. So up here beside create campaign, you have a payments button. And that's where you can go in to add your credit card so that you're able to run your Facebook ads. So the nice thing about doing it through here is Facebook does not get your credit card information. It's all stored within KW, so you don't have to worry about security and things like that. And the charge will come from Keller Williams. So just make sure you've added your payment card there. It won't let you publish the ad until you do so. That's a very important step, but yeah. So that's the process of running an ad for a listing. It is nice. It fills in a lot of the details for you from MLS. So it's a good time saver. Yeah, any questions or anything you're wondering about that I didn't go over?
I have a question about the emails that are emailed out. Are those emailed out through command?
Yes. Yeah.
So I won't see that in my regular email. I need to go into command to see those, any responses, or does that come back to my regular email?
Responses will come back to your regular email.
Yep.
So I'm going to pop back into my settings for a second. So we have something called command mail, which is the email server, I guess you could call it, that sends emails from command. So in your settings on that same applications page, down here you have command email. And when you click manage, you can choose which email all of your replies go to. So
Okay.
you're sending emails from Smart Plans. This is where your replies are going to come to. So just make sure the correct email's there. It's when you're actually monitoring. It'll
Yep.
pull emails from a few different places, but as long as you have that set up.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. One thing I want to mention, if you are using email Smart Plans, you're going to notice that anyone in your database or anyone who fills out a lead form who has a Hotmail, Outlook, Microsoft based email, it is not going to work, unfortunately. We're having issues with the MSN and Microsoft side of emails. They have basically not blocked KW, but people were using the platform in a way that they shouldn't have been. People marked those emails as spam, and Microsoft has very strict spam policies and now will not let any emails from KW deliver to anyone in Microsoft. Very frustrating. So it's something they're working on. I don't have an ETA on when that's going to be resolved. But mainly, if you have anyone in your database with an Outlook, Hotmail, email, it is a good reason to reach out to them. Just say you're updating your database. You want to make sure you have all the contact information for them. See if they might have an alternate email. Make sure you have their phone number. You can text them instead. I just wanted to warn everyone before you go all go and then see a couple fail. If they do have any of those Microsoft-based emails, you are going to see that the emails do not go through to them. Not to damper the fun of the training, but I just wanted to give that disclaimer, I guess, because it is an issue we're running into.
Good to know.
Yeah, so I mean, Gmail is a lot more popular nowadays. The use of Microsoft and MSN is decreasing, but you will still find people do have those emails. So just something to watch out for if you do see leads come in and the email is Microsoft, you may just want to make sure that you're following up with them manually if you are sending an email. Or consider using Twilio for texting instead.
Okay, for the record, just to put a little plug in for Twilio, I was completely afraid of using it, being a new agent and not sure like how the money was going to flow out if I couldn't control it. And I actually just looked, and I've been like, text messages are going out to these smart plans that I'm doing, and in all honesty, it is so worth it. It's so cheap. It is really, really not expensive at all. It's one of the best decisions I ever made for myself, and it was like part of my 2023 goals was to automate as much as I possibly can. And this is amazing. So if you're hesitating or you think it might be too much money, it's not. It's really, really not. It's incredibly inexpensive, and it actually is a time saver for me now. I don't have to worry about coming up with something. It just automatically texts it as part of my smart plan. And then when I get my little task to say to call to follow up, it's incredible. Yeah, anyway, I don't
Yeah.
even work for them, not being endorsed.
Yeah, it is incredibly cheap. So I think it's $3 and maybe $4 when it's exchanged for 300 credits per month. So that's 300 texts that you've sent. And if you don't use 300, they roll over. So maybe you only sent 100 texts this month, you have 200 extra next month, and they keep building up and building up. So the smallest plan is usually more than enough to start. And then as you notice that you are using up more credits, you can just up your plan. It can go anywhere from 300 to 15,000 credits per month. Okay. It is a great time saver. Texts always convert better than emails. People tend to not answer emails or not read them. A text message, you're going to get responses much quicker. So do consider this. It is a great thing to incorporate into that marketing strategy. And again, like Sherry said, it saves you a ton of time.
Yeah.
It's also integrated with the Command mobile app, so you can text back and forth with your Twilio account directly in the app. So if you're just having a back and forth conversation, you can have that whole conversation directly in Command.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Perfect. So I promised a resource guide for you guys. So I'm going to pull that up here. So I will share this with all of you. Actually, I can put the link. Put the link here in the chat, just so if anyone wants to grab it now, you can. Just a Google Doc. But this is a resource for you. So it went through everything that we went through, the prerequisites for creating your Facebook ad. You have to have a Facebook business page connected in Command. Each of these blue links is a guide. So if you click this, it's how to create a Facebook page, how to connect it in Command, complete your marketing profile, and add your credit card. Steps to prepare, creating your tag, your smart plan, and having your web page ready, how to configure your ad, and then how to track and manage it. And then also some troubleshooting at the bottom. So if you're ever getting, you run an ad and it says failed, there's quite a few different things you can do to fix that. It's usually just accepting terms and conditions if they've updated them. So just check out that link. And then if your ad publishes and no leads are coming in, there's a few reasons for that as well. And this link will explain that for you. So just want to make sure you all have this. Try not to change anything on it. But yeah, that's all. Right. Any final questions? Anything else?
Thank you.
No problem. Sharon, I see you asked for the link to make an easy website. I can email you that link.
Great, thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Again, I did record this, so you can go back and watch it once we have it up on YouTube. And if you have any questions as you're going through creating your ad, just send me an email or give me a call. I'm happy to help.
Thanks.
No problem. Have a great day.